Nigeria, a land once flowing with milk and honey, now lies in ruins. The once booming economy handed over by the British has been on a downward slide since independence.
The princess was received with yells from the kids. Her friendly charm had quickly made her very popular. It was as the representative of Her Majesty the Queen that Princess Alexandra of Kent returned in the evening. She was about to hand over Nigeria's constitution. And presently, quoting the Queen's own words, she was to wish Nigeria a great and noble future.
Bad leadership has been the bane of this hitherto great nation. Because of bad leadership, military juntas collided with the political leaders at different times, truncating and slowing down the democratic process, which is the bedrock of any developed nation. The power sector, which controls the production that grows the economy, has suffered the worst hit and neglect by successive governments. As the situation worsened, more and more multinational companies shut down their production in Nigeria, moving their operation to more economically viable countries in West Africa. Apart from sinking the economy because of bad economic policies, the security negligence of the current democratic administration led by General Muhammadu Buhari, the nation has become a den of thieves and robbers and a haven of international terrorism, kidnapping, modern-day slave trade, and all manner of heinous crimes you can imagine. Oh, never mind. We need to all remind ourselves that was close, you know. This is what we face in Nigeria now, especially in the northern axis. This is our story. But now, I need to get back to basics so that I can finalize the story. Hey, pack those things up, let's go. Alright, now let's wrap this up.
Anti-corruption summit and try to tackle this big scourge. Of course, it's been overshadowed by what the Prime Minister said to the Queen about your country in Afghanistan, calling you fantastically corrupt.
I think he's been honest about it.
And you are being very blunt and very honest yourself by saying that he was right. And you told me, Mr. President, during your campaign that we have to kill corruption or else corruption will kill Nigeria. How are you doing? Are you making any inroads?
Yes, we are. And a few instances where $2.1 billion. Billion, not $2 million, were voted for military hardware and software for the operations against Boko Haram. Those responsible sat down as if they were going to have lunch or dinner and shared it and put it in their accounts.
You're kidding. The money that you designated to fight your major terrorist group, Boko Haram, they put it in their pocket.
We begin this hour in Benue State, where gunmen suspected to be bandits have attacked the convoy of Benue State Governor Samuel Otom. Governor Otom was said to be on his way to Makurdi when the gunmen opened fire on his convoy, but were repelled by his security men.
This is Tiotu community, located about 30 kilometers away from Makurdi, the Benue State capital. At least 15 bodies, including those of women and children, have so far been recovered after a late-night attack on this community. We met residents of the attacked community fleeing with their luggage.
Insecurity in our country has taken a heavy toll on all of us. An estimated 322 policemen plus officers and 642 soldiers lost their lives in theaters of conflict over the past 12 months alone. As far as the Northern Elders Forum is concerned, killing of 322 police officers plus 642 soldiers shows we are in very difficult circumstances. How more outraged can we ever be?
The Sultan of Sokoto said the insecurity in the north is grossly underreported. I agree absolutely with him.
State now is ungovernable because there are local governments that are completely under the bandits in his own state of Katsina. As we are talking today, as we are talking now, I can bet you my life that people are being killed. Villages have been wiped out in the whole of the northwest, except for Kano and maybe parts of Jigawa. It's overrun by bandits.
And I dare say that the failure to have mitigated these damages, the failure to have stemmed it, the failure to have prevented it is a complete abandonment of the constitutional responsibility of the federal government.
We need to all remind ourselves that it has not always been this bad. Let us go back memory lane to prove this. In the year 1914, a nation was born by the British amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorate of the region under the British rule. It was a land flowing with milk and honey, and the British oligarchy got the best of it and built a vibrant economy. By 1960, Nigeria's people were given a reign of power by the British colonialists, and this rich and robust economy was handed over to the elected leaders of the Fourth Republic. Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, who was the Prime Minister, and Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was the President, led the fourth set of indigenous autonomous political leaders. At this time, Nigeria was respected the world over, and our leaders held sway wherever they went. You don't believe me? Let me give you just one example. On a few days visit to the United States of America from July 25th, 1961, the entire nation stood still as the Nigeria's Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa, who was given one of the best British academic training, was given a royal welcome and delivered high resounding and flawless speeches to the American House of Representatives and other important gathering and audience in the state. You still don't believe me? Watch this.
July 25th, 1961. America is waiting for the arrival in Washington of the Prime Minister of the Federation of Nigeria, Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Prime Minister Balewa is making an official visit to America at the invitation of the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. Waiting at the airport to greet him are Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson, Secretary of State Dean Rusk, Mr. Joseph Palmer, the American Ambassador to Nigeria, and other high-ranking American officials. Accompanying the Prime Minister is Minister of Foreign Affairs Nwachukwu, Ambassador Udochi, and Minister Shagari and Benson, and other key members of the Nigerian government.
Mr. Prime Minister, I am honored to welcome you and the distinguished members of your party to the United States. This welcome is only the beginning. You will find as you travel through this country a very deep and genuine interest in the exciting developments which are taking place in your country and in Africa today.
I am very pleased to be with you in Washington today, and I look forward to the week which we are to spend among you. I have no doubt that the American people will receive us with all the kindness that they all receive strangers. This is just a brief reply to your very warm address of welcome. Thank you.
An official motorcade now conveys Prime Minister Balewa to the center of Washington. Many friendly Americans are waiting to welcome Sir Abubakar to his home in Washington. During his stay in the American capital, the distinguished visitor will reside at the Blair House, the special residence for guests of the American president. Just across the street from the Blair House is the White House, where President Kennedy awaits Prime Minister Balewa. The two leaders are meeting to discuss matters of mutual and international interest. In a joint communique summarizing the outcome of their deliberations, they reaffirm their support for the principle of self-determination for dependent peoples and their unalterable opposition to racial discrimination under any name or in any guise. President Kennedy expressed his pleasure at the success of the Monrovia Conference and congratulated the Prime Minister on his constructive contribution. The two leaders affirmed their confidence that their exchange of views had strengthened the bonds of friendship between their two countries. The next stop for Sir Abubakar is a memorial to one of America's best-loved presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln Memorial is a goal for every visitor to the American capital. Tourists from all over the world are drawn by a reverence for the man known by all men as the great emancipator. As they stand before the statue of Lincoln, the Prime Minister and his party remember the words in which Lincoln addressed his countrymen. He called upon them to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. Sir Abubakar and his party see a monument to America's first president, George Washington, as they leave the Lincoln Memorial. A group of children proudly display the placard which Prime Minister Balewa has autographed for them.
I think this is enough for now. Watch out for the continuation of this documentary titled A Political Memoir of Nigeria. My name is Jerry Dan Goldman, signing out.